Today we are painting clouds. I feel so weird if you stood there when I'm talking to camera.
There's not a lot of really close to you.
Aren't ceilings boring? I want to be able to look to the gods in defeat or collapse out of sheer exhaustion and look above me and see nothing but pure, unadulterated whimsy. But not in here though. In here, the biggest room in my house. I'm doing up my living room, which you may or may not have already seen the video of. I personally have not gotten that far yet, but hopefully within that video you saw some clips of a totally rad looking ceiling mural. This is my worst nightmare. I'm making a whole video around something I can't even pronounce, which is what we're going to be spending the next week working on. By the end of this video, my arms will be noodles. I have bought 6 cans of paint, which is significantly more paint than I actually need, but we wanted 6 different colors and it was the smallest cans that they sold. If this ceiling goes well, we might do other ceilings in the house because we are going to have a lot of paint left over. The goal is a soft morning sunrise sky with a gentle blue gradient base and soft fluffy clouds with nice little pink highlights and purple shadows. Think 2003 Peter Pan. But we want it a little bit less vibrant than that because we really want it to be very soothing and relaxing, and the whole idea of turning this room into a library is we basically just want it to be a room that you walk into, you sit down and you just physically cannot help but relax. We need that. We're very tightly wound people. I want to be able to sit back on the sofa and just look above me and feel like when Chandler discovered baths. You know? As it stands right now, there is stuff everywhere that I need to try and move out of the way. I don't entirely know where I'm moving it out of the way because there's not exactly a lot of space outside of this room, but we're gonna try and move out as much as we possibly can, especially the collection of chairs that we are building that could qualify us to be a cafe. Obviously, there are definitely parts of the room that I cannot move, like we've got the TV up and we've got the bookshelves that are still up that we need to take down, but obviously we're not doing that yet. So all of that stuff, I've bought loads of big plastic dust sheets. My plan is essentially just to tape these dust sheets to the wall and then drape them down over the furniture that is like against the wall. So the TV and the unit and the fireplace and the books, and so I don't have to literally move everything. I'm just talking because I'm putting off actually doing it all. After a combination of clearing stuff out into the hallway and shoving everything else against the walls, we began the process of taping up the dust sheets. And finally, everything was covered and our painting looked particularly cursed. We have murder roomed the place. It has taken hours. We've actually stopped and had lunch. It's afternoon now. We're gonna start painting. One of us is gonna take the big roller on a stick and the other one is gonna work the edges of the room. And we're gonna rock, paper, scissors for it because I don't want to do the edges, so.
I really assumed that I was doing them, but okay.
Let's okay again. Oh. I'm doing the edges. But first I prepared the roller on a stick for Dan, followed by my favourite part of making these videos. I don't know why, but pouring paint means so much to me. There are few other things that bring me such unprecedented joy. Even though I didn't want to be on the ladder, I was a total trooper about it.
My arm's already aching.
Okay, fine, I hated it. And I started moaning in the first 5 minutes, but I stuck it out for like 15 more minutes and then Dan switched with me. Have I told you how he's the best? Because he's the best. I feel like it's important to mention at this point how much I was trying to ration the blue because we only had 1 can of it and I was just brushing that roller until it was dry before I'd allow myself to redip the paint. My neck was also killing by this point.
I will admit, looking at the ceiling, it's giving me trust the process vibes.
Me too. Me too. Despite the doubts taking root, we pushed through. This feels like a good point to tell you that there are actually two blues. I think I forgot to share this earlier. The central area of the room is going to be in a slightly different shade of blue, and the plan is to attempt a gradient going between the two shades.
I'm going to take over that for a bit.
I'm more just slowing down because I'm trying to figure out what we're doing the other blue too. For example, are we doing it as like a central in the ceiling thing? Or are we actually taking it up to the edge as if it's being carved in the middle? So basically, is it having a circle shape or an L shape?
I was thinking realistically, it's probably going to be like neither. It's probably going to be more of like kind of a kidney bean.
That's just a different way of saying L shape, don't get pedantic.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like a soft.
So the point is, you still want the light blue around this edge.
I think so.
That's
yeah.
all.
I think that gives us the most flexibility as well.
Which meant one final push through to complete the kidney bean. We're going to switch to the second blue after we rest and have some drinks, because much like the microphone, I am dying. How do you feel, Dan?
How many expletives do you want to bleep out?
We need rest. We're back, refueled, and look how pretty the ceiling looks. It's dried so nicely. On to the second blue. So just a little quick fun fact.
That's not a good sign.
When we originally planned the ceiling, we planned to do the darker blue around the edges and the lighter blue in the middle. And then yesterday we thought, actually, it's gonna look better if we do the lighter blue around the edges and the darker blue in the middle because it'll make the room look lighter. And we mixed up the blues. So we've just opened the lighter blue, so it is going in the middle after all. Now some of you might be a little concerned that these two blues do not look good together. This middle one dries very differently. It scared us too. We then got rid of the kidney bean shape because it made the room look smaller. We had a roller each and we tried our very best to blend the blues into a gradient. So if anybody would like a visual depiction of what it's like when your last two brain cells are trying to execute a task, here it is.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, do you want to start blending some of this in?
Yeah.
Because again, I need to try and bring it like further into the grey and you need to blend that bit in. So it's important that you blend the stuff further in the middle in rather than the outside stuff because we don't want to make the grey bigger.
So basically just what you've got, just to soften this bit here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go a little bit like that way as well. Shall we stop here, see how it dries? The ceiling has dried very nicely. It is incredibly relaxing to just stare up at, and it doesn't even have any clouds on yet. Speaking of clouds, this morning's sunrise had the perfect reference clouds, so I took a bunch of pictures and I'm going to be using those today to paint on our cloudage. You know, if I can actually get myself to get up and move because I am so mellowed out right now. Oh, this room's going to be so relaxing when it's done. We look like that,
Yeah, American
yeah, that painting really well. Hang on, stand, I'll sketch on whatever the things are. Who holds what? Is it the guy that holds a thing and the woman just stands there?
I don't know. I think the woman's holding the rake, right? Or
Okay,
is the guy
I'll hold the
holding
rake.
The fork.
We'll gender switch it if we get it wrong.
Okay.
I'll hold the rake. Get in frame a little bit more. Okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah, we needed a frame. I don't know why I both stood there for seconds.
Today we are painting clouds. I feel so weird if you stood there when I'm talking to camera.
Doesn't look really supposed to.
So we're painting clouds to make life easier rather than doing a tray that I'm inevitably going to tip and spill everywhere. I've got my little painting cups so we can actually stand on the ladder and hold them and paint.
You said that I was the one that really spilled the paint yesterday.
Yeah, but this is my point. It's so easy to do. And that was just with the big stuff. When we're actually focusing and getting shapes, we're gonna spill it. So we've got cups. We also bought these special like fat round bristle brushes that hopefully will give us some nice cloud shapes. We have realized that we've only got one ladder though. So I think we're just gonna take it in turns. But also Dan's only here for like an hour and then he's got work. So we'll take it in turns for a bit and then I'm on my own. Okay, let's get a cool paint pouring shot.
Okay.
Never had to pour paint into a cup before. Around the light needs a cloud because of the harsh blending we couldn't do because the light was too bright and we couldn't see. This is so nerve-wracking, both because I hate standing on ladders and because it's like a big deal. This was the moment that I instantly regretted starting this project. The blue gave me slight hesitation, but adding on the first cloud instantly made me realize how out of my depth I was trying to paint these. There is my really bad first attempt. There is my second attempt after Dan gave me some instruction. And then there are Dan's ones, which look like masterpieces. Soldiering on by myself, I admit, I did not do this task very well. I don't know how long I've been doing it. It's only 10:30, so I think it's maybe been about 2 hours of work so far. I'm not feeling great about them. I'm feeling really anxious about it, but I'm also trying to remind myself that this is step one. This is just adding the off-white base, and then we've got the purple for shadows, we've got the yellow to add the sunrise kind of highlights, and we've got the pinks as well. So there is so much more to do and so many more layers to add to these to make them look good. It's just really tough seeing it as it currently looks. And I'm tired, which also isn't helping because it's hard to carry on when you're suddenly feeling like, oh no, this was a mistake. I don't have this ability. Why did I think this was a good idea? Basically, Dan's good at this and I really wish he was still here to help me.
Sometime later.
A few hours have passed because I needed to regroup. I was looking at it and it was feeling very Toy Story, which isn't exactly what I wanted to go for. So I walked away and I binged Wednesday for a bit and I took a breather. And we're coming back to retackle it. I think I've identified the problem. Going into it, I was trying to do smaller clouds to give that look of the sky being really high up. We have very low ceilings in this house. I was afraid that if I did big clouds, it would make the ceiling feel even lower than it already is. But screw that. We're doing big clouds because I think it's gonna really help it look better. And all of my reference pictures have big clouds on, so I just need to do it. This is the biggest brush I have that will still fit into the cup. So I'm gonna switch to this one and we're gonna start really filling in some massive clouds and hopefully get it looking a little bit better than it currently looks. And on the bright side, because it's a Sunday and I've been procrastinating doing this for most of the day, Dan will be home in a couple of short hours, so he will be able to help fix my mess. I don't know if this is a complete state with all of the base cloud layers, but I've done a lot and I feel like it might be. I also can't feel my arms. I'm so tired. Oh my god. Day 3. All of the white clouds are now on. We've spent a little bit of time this morning painting in some second layers of white just to really thicken up some of the clouds. It's looking so pretty. This morning we are on to the scary stage, which is adding on the yellow, the pink, the purple, places that we want to like create a lot more shadow. I'm really nervous about it. Based on how much paint we actually used to do all the clouds in the base layer, I think we only refilled the cup 3 times and we only half filled it. So when it comes to the other colours, I don't think we're going to use more than a single cup of paint. There's going to be so much left. And I feel like a lot of people are going to tell me that I should have bought specific painting paints so I could buy smaller amounts rather than whole cans of wall paints. And you know what? You're probably right. I probably should have done that. But in my head, my logic was that I needed a big amount of paint for the base blue, so those had to be wall paints. And then I was worried if I got a different type of paint for the clouds, it wouldn't go together the same. Like what if the finish or the texture was different? And I was afraid of that. So I just bought loads of big cans of paint. Before taking straight to the clouds, I tested each colour to see how they dried. After watching paint dry for a bit, we've decided the pink is a little bit darker than what we want, so that's the only one we're going to mix, but the others we're happy with. Even fresh on, it's got a little bit of that yellow tint from the white in it as well. So.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, just sort of warm it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's going to work nicely.
Just be aware, in camera they look very similar, so.
Well, they don't in person. Also, that's freshly painted on, so it'll lighten as it dries.
True.
I like it. Let's go. Cracking on with day 4, Dan took on the role of the yellow highlights and I jumped straight in with the pink shadows. I did my first cloud and it took 25 minutes and we're gonna be here forever. But look how pretty it is. How's your cloud going, Dan?
It's been alright.
After a morning of hard work, we took a well-earned tea break in the garden because there was actual sunlight and warmth back when we did this. I miss those days. I've made some really good progress with the pink clouds on this side of the room, and I'm just about to move on to this really big one, which I now regret making quite so large. I can do this. I went into this expecting my arm to be the thing that was killing me. And whilst it is definitely aching, it is not the thing that is genuinely torturing me. My wrist is starting to really hurt to the point where I'm thinking I might need to get myself a wrist brace. And beyond that, my neck is also really killing me from just craning up so much. I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting those two. Ow. I wasn't expecting those two things. I've done most of the pink and I've done maybe 60% of the yellow. I'm gonna switch to purple just to keep things fresh, change up the pace, do something different. Filming is getting quite difficult though because it's getting quite dark and my ISO is turned up very high right now. Like no decent videographer would put their ISO up this high. Initial application of the purple shadows was definitely a little bit rough. It was harder to blend than the pink was, but it was worth the trouble because the pink and purple clouds are my absolute favourite. 3 days in and it finally happened. I spilt my first bit of paint. I cannot tell you how much I aggressively do not want to clean that up. Final day of painting! I just want to start by saying that the sun was very in and out all day. Not great for time lapses, we're just gonna have to live with it. I was very grateful to have Dan for the entire day because I was near death by this point. He started introducing a custom mixed orangey colour into some of the clouds, whilst I continued with the purple shadows. How's your back feeling, Dan?
Insert Theoden, my body is broken.
My body is broken.
This sounds really mean in this context, but I abandoned Dan to finish the rest by himself. Look, I was more dead than he was. I had done 4 full days. He offered to do the last touches, and I took him up on it and went to bed. I would like to reiterate, he is the best. I want to dramatically release Jenkins, but I don't think it's going to come down smoothly. Even though we were only dust sheet and paint free for about 3 days before we started on the living room, I treasured every moment. Look how pretty the new light shades we've got are. We went all fancy and got Tiffany's.
Tiffany's.
Yes, Tiffany's. They look really good though. And with the installation of the new light shades, we are on to the results. Personally, I think this one looks like a dessert from Cooking Mama. I just don't know which one. Dan thinks this one looks like a squid. I think it looks like a lobster. Place your votes. This one's my little Nessie. I wouldn't let Dan change it because I love her. There are probably more, but those are the ones I've spotted so far. This ceiling is just so relaxing. Even without the rest of the living room done yet, the ceiling alone has upped the cozy level so much in here the past couple of days. I love it and I'm so glad we did it, and it's worth how much my arm hurts right now. I do have like 4 full cans of paint left though, because for each of the colours, the pink, the purple and the yellow, we literally used half a cup from each can. So those are just full cans. They're gonna go in the shed and I'm gonna see if I can come up with any ideas of where else in the house I could use those colours. If not, I'll just donate them somewhere. Buying the paint as full cans of emulsion paint, not my smartest move. It's not exactly what people usually do when they do murals. Paintings, when they do big paintings. Well, I would love to stay and chat, but I do have the rest of the room to do. So as always, thank you so very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and Dan's participation in it. Feel free to leave me a comment down below because you guys know how much I love to chat with you all. And I will see you all in my next video, which will be a significantly less tiring project because I'm gonna need to rest after all of this. My arm really hurts. Bye. I just filmed this segment and it was perfect and I didn't even hit record. From the top, people.
Maybe Chucky moves buttons.
Busey's or something like
It's
that.
definitely not Busey's.
Looks like it's Busey's.
It's Bucky's or Chucky's.
No, it definitely means with B. I just don't think it's spelled Bucky's. What is this? Well, if you don't just want to be a floating head in the shop. Obviously, it's for aesthetics.
Okay, I'm just okay.
I did the exact same thing. I'm so keeping that in the edit.